Welcome to this tutorial video. So, so we are drawing a carburetor, and then this is our plan and this is our front view. And we are to draw the section view XX. So the section view XX, the cut is on the plan horizontally. So we are going to section the front view. So now when you cut the XX, you are going to get what the front view. I'm going to section the front view over here. And between hidden lines, so when the cut is passing through, it cuts through this hole, which means that this will appear visible in our section view. But it doesn't cut through anywhere again, just pass it through the web. This is a web over here. So this is the web over here. So we're not going to section the web, and then it's cutting through this hole too, which is also over here. So this one is like a long bolt, and then we don't section this long bolt over here, and then this hole over here. So we are going to draw our sectional view first. We'll come and draw our plan, and then draw the line, our XX through. So we are going to draw. You draw the outline first. That's the visible outline. Then all the hidden lines will turn into what visible lines because it's a section view. We also draw the web, but we don't section it. Okay. So now let's go and then start our drawing. So before you start any drawing, you need to know the best way to start. So the best way to start this drawing is to draw the center line. So this is the center line that we can reference from, and this is another center line we can reference from, and this is another center line we can reference from. So if we want to draw this, then we make use of the center line. You can see that this center line is in line with this plan, and then this center line is also in line with this part of the plan. So when we draw, we just draw big so that when we are drawing the plan, it's easier for us. Now we don't really need to so between this center line and the plan center line, we can do our deduction and measure at least 100 millimeters, and I think it will be enough. So we measure 100 millimeters, then we are going to be getting our plan very well. Okay, so let me start by drawing the front, the center line. So I'm going to draw this line first, then I'll draw these two lines. And these two lines, this center line, this vertical center and this vertical center line, according to the plan, is 81 millimeters from each other, according to the plan. So you see 81 millimeters from each other. So we are going to use that, and then we are going to draw our lines. Then we start our section view. Okay. Okay. So using SolidWorks, let's draw our lines, and then we start our section view. So first of all, you can draw your horizontal line. You draw your horizontal line nicely. Then you draw your vertical line anywhere. So you can draw your vertical line anywhere you want. But I should be reasonable, maybe somewhere here. So you draw your vertical line. Now, once you draw your vertical line, then you can now measure to the right 81 and to the down 100. So you can get the horizontal line for the plan, that's the cut, the section line, and then you can get that other vertical line for the other side. Okay, so let's measure 81. The 81, measure 81 because of this. So let me go back. Let me go review. So the 81 is as a result of this side. So from here to here is 81. That's why I'm measuring 81. Okay. So once you have that, I'm going to measure 81. So because I'm using computer, I'll just measure 81 and then I'll draw my line. I'll draw my line and then measure 81 later. So between these two vertical lines is 81. It's 81. So 81. So once you measure your 81, let me hide my dimension because so once you measure 81, then you can now come and measure the 100. So you can draw your center line, horizontal center line, and between you can measure 100. I think you should measure 100 and above. Maybe 120, 100 is fine. Anyone is fine. So Let me go for 100. So between these two horizontal lines is 100. Or maybe let me do it 120 so that there'll be a little bit of space between the plan and then the front view. You don't need to measure the 10 thing. You just have to be in line. The plan and front view has to just be in line. But for the measurement, we don't really take it unless we are doing the orthographic projection. But for section view, you can leave it this way. So now let's go and start our drawing. Now once you have this, okay. So once you have this, then we can say that we can now draw our horizontal and we can now start drawing this. Now you can see that first of all, we want to draw this uh, horizontal line over here so that we can draw this above. Then we come and draw this side so that we can end everything. So you can see that from here, from the center line that we drew, the horizontal center line that we drew to this horizontal line, it was 44 over here. So you're going to measure from the horizontal line to the top, 44. Then we draw our horizontal line. Then we move on with the other measurement. So let's measure 44, then we draw our horizontal line. So I go and then I measure 44. From here to I measure 44. So I will draw my horizontal line this way. You can draw it to go. Don't worry. Later I can use my eraser to clean it. So make sure when you are drawing, you draw faint lines. And when you are done, use your eraser to clean them. So I measure from this horizontal line to this line 44. I measure 44. Measure 44. Okay. Once I measure 44, I come back. Now I've gotten that line. So I come back now and I see what from this line to the tip over here. I don't really know, but I can go and infer it because the last end of the front view also be the last end of the plan on the so the diameter from the center is 47, as you can see from here, 47, which means that to the left, you're going to measure 47 because the radius is 47. R47 is radius 47. I'm going to measure to the left 47 so that you can get this side. Then you come down and then you close. So I'm going to measure 47 to the left, measure 47 to the left on the 44 horizontal line I just drew from the center. So I come here and I come and measure from this line to this line. I measure 44, measure 44. From this line to this point, I measure 44. I measure 44. Okay. Once I measure 44, then I can go down by 7, as you can see from here. So this is 7. So from here to here is 7. So I go down by 7 and I can draw a line horizontally. So I can draw this horizontal line now. So I measure 47 to the other side. No, 47 rather, so I have to change it to 47 to the other side. Then I go down by 7. So let me make that correction so that so I measure 47. Then once I measure 47, I go down by 7. I go down by 7. I go vertically down. So I use my set square to go down by 7. Then I can nicely draw this horizontal line with my T square to go this way. Or you can draw the lines later, you clean them. So make sure that you draw your lines and then you draw your lines faintly. Then when you are done, you can use your pencil to nicely make thick lines. So make sure every line you are drawing is thin. And then when you are done, you use your this one to nicely make thick lines. Because if you make all thick lines and you're cleaning, the work becomes dirty. Okay. Now, once I draw, I go down by 7. I go back to my drawing, and you can see that I want to draw this line, this vertical line here. In between this line is between the center is 75. So this means diameter 75, which means that to the left is 37.5, and to the right is 37.5. So 37.5 to the left, 37.5 to the right. I'm going to measure 37.5 to the left and right, and then draw these two vertical lines. These two vertical lines. So this line and this line, as you can see, 75 from here. So once I have that, I go back to my drawing. So you have to analyze the drawing very well. I go back to my drawing, then go back to my drawing, then I measure and come here, come to this line. I'm still on this line. I come to this line. I measure from here to here, 37.5, and then to the right, 37.5. I'm going to, sorry, I'm going to measure 37.5 because it's 75 millimeters, so 37.5 to the left and right, to the left and right. Hide, and then I can, for some reason, computer camera it, but do it to the left and right. And yeah, I measure that. Then I draw my vertical line down. I just draw a vertical line. Later I can just clean it when I'm done. So I draw my vertical line down, and then I draw another vertical line down this way. My vertical line down this way. Once I'm done with that, then I can go back to my drawing and then see which line I can draw again. So this step by step. So we've drawn this line and then we've drawn this line. Always make sure that you know the line you've drawn. Now, as you can see, you want to get this horizontal line too. This horizontal line, as you can see that from this point, okay, so from this point to this point. Now we know this 44, and we know this whole thing to be 87.5, which means that from this line to the center is going to be 87.5 minus 44, minus 12.5. So 87, so here we have 87.5 minus 44 and minus 12.5, and that will give us 31. So we are going to measure from the center to the down 31 to get this horizontal line over here, and we just draw the horizontal line. So let's go and do that measurement, and then we go. So here I come here and I measure from this center line over here, this horizontal center line to the down 31. I measure 31. So I come and then I measure from here. 1 second. Let me fix this so that it doesn't obstruct our. Okay. So I measure from here 31. Measure from here 31. So that I can draw my horizontal line. So I measure 31. Measure 31. So you see, we are drawing the outline first before we come and draw the holes. So I do that, and then I come and use my T-square to draw a horizontal line through the 31, and then straight down like this. I make it go. Later I can come and clean if I want. As if I don't need that part again. So once I'm done doing that, then if I go back to my drawing, I can see that I don't need the extra length that have been taken out, or this length that have protruded. So I'm going towards clean. I'm going to use my eraser to nicely clean this side and then this side. I'm getting my box out nicely. So once I do that, I go back and okay. So I go back to my drawing. Now, as you can see, from in between the hidden lines, between these two hidden lines, it's going to be 67.7, 67.5, and 67.5 divided by 2 is going to be 33.75. 33.75. I'm going to measure 33.75 to the left and to the right so I can get this hidden line. And this hidden line will turn into what? a visible line in sectional view. We are drawing the sectional view to turn to a visible line. So I'm going to draw this 37.5, 33.85 to the left and right because it's 67.5. I'm going to draw this line. So let's go ahead and draw the line and then bring it down. So I come here and then I measure 67. So I come to the top, this very top, and I measure 67, 33.85 to the left and right. So I measure from this point to this point, 33 points, 33.85, 33.85, 33.85. Once I do that, to the left and right, so to the left and right. So let me so this is my left, this to my right. Once I do that, I can now draw my line straight. I can draw it maybe to this point a bit. Let me bring it down a bit. Later I can clean them if I want. That's if I don't need them. Then I bring this one to down. I bring this one to down. Okay. Now we've drawn that hidden line. So once I draw that line, I come back here. I come back to my drawing. And I can see that it's 6 away from this line. So I'm going to measure from this line to the top 6. Then I just draw my horizontal line to touch the 2. So I'm going to measure from here to here 6 and draw my horizontal line to touch these 2 hidden lines that I've just drawn as a visible line. So this 37. So I'm going to measure from here to here 6, then I draw to touch it. So I come here, then I measure to the top 6 to this point. I come here, I measure from this point to this point 6. Measure 6 to this point to this point will be 6 millimeters. Measure 6. Then I just use my T-square. That will give me the horizontal edge to join this line to this line this way. Then I can use my eraser to nicely clean this line and this line and then this line and then this line. Once I'm done, I'll use my eraser to nicely clean this line and this line. Okay, so now we continue. Now we go back to the drawing and we see that there's a small 69 over here which goes to the left and right of the hidden line a bit and then measures 3 to the down. So 69 divided by 2 is going to be 69 divided by 2 is going to be 34.5. So I'm going to measure 34.5 to the left and right. Then I now come down by 3, then I join them. So that's what I'm going to do. So I come here and then I measure 34.5 to the left and right. So I come here, somewhere here. We measure from here, from the center to this point, 34.5, 34.5. So it will be very small, it will be very, very, very small. So then I go down by 3. So I come here and I go down by 3. Go down by 3 because that was the height it gives, so 3. Then you do the same thing for the other side. You measure 34 point this one to the right. So let me mirror this. You do that. Then once you are done, then you join the 2. You join the 2. Join the 2. So now we have our 3 nicely drawn. So now we are almost done. We are almost finishing with the left part of the drawing. We will go to the right part very soon. So once I have this, then I can now draw. I can go back and then can now draw this side. So from this point, this line we are here. So this line down here is 12.5. 12.5. I'm going to measure 12.5. Then I draw this line. 12.5 and I draw this line. I'm going down by 12.5. Then the edge over here between these two edges is radius 31. So 31 divided by 2 will be what? 15.5. So 15.5 to the left and right after I go down by 12.5 over here. So I'll come here, then I go down by 12.5. I measure from here to here 12.5. Measure from here to here 12.5. And once I do that, I'll draw my, I just draw my horizontal line through that. Draw my horizontal line through that. Then to the left and right, I'll measure 15.5 to the left and right because the radius is 31. So 15.5 to the left and right. So measure from here to here 15.5. And I'll draw a line to touch the other side. 15.5. Then do the same thing for the right side too. So that I can get my radius 31. So I can join this one to this one. Then I can do the same thing for the right side. And I'm getting the down part. So don't worry about the fillet. When you are done, you can fillet everything. So right now, just draw the outline and then you are good to go. So you clean this side and then you clean here.